Hi friends, today we are going to discuss mainly about the international organizations. There are two parts of my presentation here. Is first part will consist of the introduction about the international organizations, and the second part I will briefly discuss about how to apply for a job in the international organizations. So let's start then. The first part, we are going to discuss the introduction, benefits of the international organizations, limitations of international organizations, type of international organizations, what are the types there, role of international organizations, what kind of roles is a specific dedicated roles are there for international organizations, formations of international organizations, list of international organizations, and then conclusion. So, the introduction. An international organization is an organization with an international membership, scope, or presence. International organization is specialization within the political system master program. It covers various aspects of global governance from multiple social and political science perspectives. To study international organization, which we're going to refer further as an IO, is to study the norms, rules, and institutions that shape relations between state and contacts across state borders and how they affect people's life, the destiny of nations, and the fate of the planet. So this is a brief introduction of an international organization. The benefits. The benefits of international organizations is mainly they can provide smaller states an opportunity for stronger economic power. This can also help build relationships with larger states in which some believe can prevent war between one another country. IO's international organizations also give states an opportunity to be efficient, and that is why states join them together to come up or for some solutions. IO's international organizations provide opportunity for secure worldwide trade. This is one benefit of one type of the international organizations. Later on, we're going to see that what are the types there. International organizations can benefit the larger state because it shows other that they are willing to not always get their way on issues, and it allows them to work with others. The limitations. The limitations of international organizations, first we have the cultural differences, very hard to deal with such difference beyond the expertise to understand and overcome. The second limitation we have in international organizations is the monitoring multiple countries. It is very important that at the same time very difficult to closely analyze all the economic and other dynamic situations all over the world. Resistance from domestic organizations. The domestic organizations or national organizations may not be in favor of centralization of power, so that is one limitation for the international organization. Government and political hurdles. Different countries with different political parties may lead to diversified the government restrictions and administrative limits. So, after the limitations of international organizations, let's look at the types of international organizations. Intergovernmental organizations, IGOs. An IGO is an organization composed primarily for sovereign states, member states, or of other intergovernmental organizations. IGOs are established by treaty or other agreement that act as a charter, grant of authority rights, creating the group. Examples include the United Nations. United Nations is one of the type of the international organizations. By signing on a treaty or on a charter from different countries around the world. The World Bank is another example of it, and the European Union as well. So Another type is international non-governmental organizations, NGOs. This is an international non-governmental organization has the same mission as a non-governmental organization, NGO. So international NGO and NGO, they have the same mission, but it is international in scope and has outposts around the world to deal with specific issues in many countries. Some INGOs are operational primary purpose is to foster the community-based organizations within the each country via different projects and operations. And some are advocacy-based primary purpose is to influence the policy making of different countries' governments regarding certain issues or promote the awareness of a certain issue. So there are two main objectives of international non-government organizations which differentiate the international NGO from normal NGO or national NGO. Last is the multinational or multinational enterprises. A multinational corporation, MNC, or multinational enterprise is an organization that owns or controls production of goods or services in one or more countries other than their home country. It can also be referred as an international corporation, a transnational corporation, or a stateless corporation. So these multinational enterprises, they sometimes, in some countries they are called transnational corporations, or sometimes in some countries they are called stateless corporations. So these were the types of the international organization. Now we have a role of international organization. The participating countries define the function of the international organizations. The objective of international organization is to study, collect, and propagate information, setting up of laws that are internationally accepted. The international organizations also help in cooperation between different countries by setting up negotiation deals between them. The international organizations also help in technical assistance. So, furthermore, about the roles of the international organizations, the first is the setting of international norms through technical analysis. The international organizations play an important role in collecting statistical information, analyzing the trend in the variables, making a comparative study, and disseminate the information to all other countries. There are some intergovernmental organizations that have set international minimum standards. Such norms are difficult to be set at the state level. Second is the supervisory role. There are some international organizations that perform certain supervisory functions. The supervisory system of the UN is very weak. In contrast, the supervisory mechanism of the ILO, so the UN means United Nations, and in contrast, the supervisory mechanism of the ILO, International Labour Organization, is quite strong. The European Union, together with the Commission and the Court of Justice, has a relatively strong supervisory mechanism. Technical assistance. An important role in the recent times is lending out technical cooperation to the member countries. By technical cooperation, we mean the provision of intellectual or financial materials to the countries which require them. Negotiating and setting up multilateral agreements. Amongst all the roles and activities of the international organizations, the most important is negotiating and setting up multilateral agreements. These multilateral agreements are very difficult in organizations, so that's why the international organization's role is very quite obvious here. Minimizing the transaction cost can strengthen the cooperation between different countries. Besides, they also provide lucidity, and information. For negotiations, forums for bargaining are set up and focal point structures are constructed during the negotiations. The multilateral agreements that are settled by the international organizations occur in sections like environment protection, development trade, crime, human rights, etc. So these were the major or main role of international organizations around the world. So the formation of the international organization is normally based on a constitutional act charter, which is type of the international treaty, is basis for the creation and activities of each international organization. The charter usually establishes an organization's goal, principles, structure, and activities, and is the highest law for an international organization and its members. Its provisions must accord with the must not contradict the norms and principles of modern international laws. The highest body of the most international organizations is General Assembly, conference of all members, in which all the members of that international organization participate. Normally it happens yearly. The frequency is normally yearly in all the international organizations, which meets periodically, either annually or once every few years. The competence of the General Assembly usually includes the adoption, review, amendment, and alteration of the Constitution Act for that specific international organization. In addition, the General Assembly handles the admission of new members and establishment of dues scale and adoption of the budget. Furthermore, most international organizations are governed by an executive council, for example, an executive committee or presidium. As a rule, each international organization has a standing secretariat headed by a secretary general or a director. And most of the organizations, it is a combination as well. In addition, auxiliary consultative bodies are usually established: commissions, committees, working groups, and councils. The decisions of an overwhelming majority of international organizations are recommendations, that is, in a strictly legal sense. They are not binding on their members. International organizations contribute to the resolution of major international problems. Some international organizations give financial support to NGOs so that they can implement concrete programs or conduct research in which the interstate organizations are interested. So this is one type of the formation for the international organization. Now I will go through with some names of the international organizations, and which will the list is fall under 5 categories. For example, the UN organizations, political and economic organizations, financial organizations, sports organizations, and other organizations. So let me start from the UN organizations. We have here the Food and Agriculture Organization, which is FAO. The headquarters is based in Rome, Italy. International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, it is in Vienna, Austria. International Civil Aviation Organization. Then here we have in political, economic, and organizations, we have African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group of States, ACP, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, Association of Southeast Asia Nations, ASEAN. In financial organizations, we have African Development Bank, Asian Development Bank, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Then in sports, we have Asian Football Confederation, AFC, Confederation African de Football, CAF, Confederation of North Central American and Caribbean Association Football. In other organizations, we have Committee of Portuguese Language Countries, EDU, Intergovernmental Organization, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. Furthermore, we have in the UN organizations, we have International Labour Organization, very huge, very important, and almost every country in the world is a member of this organization, almost. ILO, the headquarters is based in Geneva, Switzerland. United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, this is New York based UN organization, works on children's welfare and development around the world. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Then we have in political and economic organizations, we have Common Market of East and Southern Africa, Commonwealth of Independent States, Economic Community of West African States. In financial, we have Inter-American Development Bank, International Monetary Fund, Islamic Development Bank. And then in sports, we have Confederation Sudamericana de Football, Fédération Internationale de Esch, this is FIDE, Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, which is very known for football, to arrange a World Cups of football and other matches. This FIFA is also based here in Europe. Other organizations, we have International Committee for Red Cross, very important, a very huge organization based in Geneva, Switzerland. International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. This is also headquarters based in Geneva, Switzerland. Then we have United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. This is OHCHR, a very big body to work on human rights around the world, and the headquarters is also based in Geneva, Switzerland. United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, World Health Organization, very famous in these COVID-19 era in quarantine since it starts late last year. So the headquarters is also based of WHO in Geneva, Switzerland. In other UN organizations, we have United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, World Food Program, World Meteorological Organization. So all these first and this one, WMO and UNHCR is based in Geneva, Switzerland. In political economic organization, we have European Free Trade Association, Indian Ocean Commission, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. In sports, we have International Cricket Council, International Olympic Committee, International Paralympic Committee. In other organizations, we have International Maritime Organization, International Organization for Migration, IOM. This is also based in Geneva, Switzerland. International Telecommunication Union. This is also very important, a very huge organization based in Geneva, in Switzerland. Mainly to, if you have ever guessed that, like, who has set the country codes for telephone numbers, like for France it is 0033, for Pakistan 0092, for UK it's 0044. So this ITU is responsible, plus lots of other things as well. So the last slide here, we have World Tourism Organization, United Nations Office of Internal Oversight Services, OIOS, based in Vienna, Austria. United Nations Office of Legal Affairs, OLA, this is based in New York. United Nations Office of Disarmament Affairs, this is also based in New York. United Nations Office of the Coordination of Human Affairs, United Nations Office of Disaster Risk Reduction, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes, United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs. Plus, there are lots of other organizations as well, but this is the major ones, the main ones which I have mentioned here, so that you can understand what kind of UN organizations we have around the world. In financial organization, we have Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, Union of South American Nations, Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, World Trade Organization, which is very important. World Trade Organization is based in Geneva, in Switzerland. Sports Organization, International Rugby Board, Oceania Football Confederation, Union of European Football Associations. Then we have Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, Universal Postal Union, World Intellectual Property Organization. WIPO is a huge organization based also in Geneva, Switzerland. So these are a short list of organizations which fall under different countries of the international organizations, which I read through for you, and there are lots of others as well. So in the conclusion, the topic discusses about the benefits, limitations of types of international organizations present, the type of roles they play, the formations of international business, and finally the list of international organizations. To conclude this topic, I did share with you about the facts of the international organization that takes place in the international business. After all, the limitations like cultural differences, domestic and governmental hurdles, and other global problems, still we can come to the conclusion that the contribution of IOS towards world economic and global business environment creation is its biggest advantage, which strengthens its existence. So this is where we end the first part with the introduction. I hope you have a pretty much good understanding now what are the why we have international organizations, what they normally do, and what kind of types are there in the world, and some of the examples which I have mentioned. So now in the second part, I will go through with some details about if you are looking for how to apply for the vacancy in international organizations, especially in the UN, and what are the tips and tricks. So let's move on to that. Okay, so now in the second part of this video, I will going to explain you about the careers, how to get a career in an international organization, or if you're looking for a job. So what are the important points based on my extensive experience from last 20 years, which I would like to share during this presentation with you. So let's get started. The three important information which you need to know about before applying for a job is that first you need to know the job which you want to apply. You have to search for it, and it's not like easy or a central place where you can find the job opening. So we will look into this part, how you can find a better option for you, or what kind of options are available on the web. Then the second, once you have if you're interested in a job, now how to do it, how to read about the job description, what the things needs to pick up from the job description. So we're going to look into that part, and then your profile, which is very important thing as well. How to put your profile together, which elements of the profile are very important ones, which needs better arrangement of the information. So these three things, three areas are very important, which we are going to look into it one by one. So if you're looking for a job, you need to know that searching a job, there are predefined some categories, especially in United Nations organizations. These are the basically called job categories, which are, for example, professional and higher categories, field service category, general service and related categories, national professional officers, internship, consultants. So these are types of the jobs. For example, if I can explain you, the professional and higher category are the international recruitments. Basically, they are hired from any country, and they are specifically for a specific job, very demanding jobs, and they are two types kind of budget wise. One is the long term contracts, and second one is the short term, mostly yearly contracts, so which is renewable kind of. So the field services are the field in the field, like in war zones or somewhere in African countries or Asian countries. Yeah, so these are in the field. General service and related categories are mostly for local people on the duty station where the office is. For example, in the United Nations, you have office in New York, in Vienna, in Geneva, in Nairobi. So in these duty stations, if they want to hire some local people, then they advertise general services and related category job. National professional officers also, this is another type of job. Internship for fresh graduates, and consultants are mixture of everything. They are hired for a specific job for a specific period on a daily basis, a rate kind of. They are paid on daily basis, but it is all mixture of lots of other things as well. So and I would say that the easiest or the quickest way to get into the organization, international organization, is through consultancy. The recruitment time and the processing is a bit easier, but it is not for a long term. It's basically a short term kind of a job. After that, we have another type in which area you're looking for, which is called job network or job area. So on a high level in international organizations, areas are networks are defined in these categories like economic, social and development, information and technology, telecommunication technology, internal security and safety, legal, logistic, transportation and supply chain, management and administration, political, peace and humanitarian, public information and conference management, science. So these are basically the areas in which you can search for a job. So it is better that a person who's applying should need to know about these areas. Now, to find a job, as I said, it's not a central place. People have tried, but individual international organizations are posting their job advertisements on their websites, or they are, for example, the first one here is the career@un.org. This is for all the organizations coming under the Secretariat of United Nations. You will find this is the main UN website for jobs, so you can find all the UN jobs here. Then there's iocareers.state.gov, then cinfo.ch, then for opportunities, internship opportunities, this is the website for that. UN Jobs is also another website for searching for the UN vacancies and jobs. Impact and the rest of them as well. And I know more as well, but like if you are interested, maybe you can ask me in the comments area. I will give you the sites. There are a lot of them. For example, I will show you one. For example, this career.un is this website here, where you can list all the jobs titles here, and in different here the categories: field service, general service, national, and internships, all are here. So you can register yourself, you can create your profile to apply for it. Then another website is this ceinfo.ch. Here you also find mixture of getting like job advertisements from different organizations from their websites, picking up and putting them here on one place, so it's easy to understand, easy to search among them. But they are up to date or not, that's not guaranteed, because that's the only problem when you get it from the central place. The information is up to date or not, there's no guarantee for that. Then this is a website for internship in the UN. This is one website where you find all the list of international organizations in around the world, where you can look for the internship. So an internship in the UN and other international organizations is unpayable. It's not like there's no salary and there's no payment involved in it. It's free. So but in some organizations the internship is payable, like ILO and Global Fund, etc. So this is unjobs.org website, where you can look into all the details of the job postings. You can click on it, you can see it, you can filter it by latest duty station. You can select any duty station from here. Like if you're looking for a specific country, specific city, you can click on it and it will filter it out for you by organization as well. So this is another website, Impact Pool. So for example, a big organization, CERN, which is based in France and in Switzerland, on half in France, half in Switzerland. This is a European Atomic Energy Research Program organization, very huge organization, and they have lots of jobs advertisements here. You can check on their website, plus over here on this website. Then the details. This is another website for ITU, all the jobs openings for ITU. This is International Telecommunication Union. Then we have another website for Procter & Gamble around the world. You can check their jobs as well, by country, by language. So, and this is another huge Mediterranean cruise for Mediterraneans, in sea. They have cruises and they have office jobs as well, and this is called MSC, and this is the website for that. So what's easy for you is to get these URLs of all the websites and put them in one place, and make them a bookmark. I have all the bookmarks of all the organizations and international organizations and UN UN organizations. Here is a list. I have kept it for myself, but if you would like to, you wanted any specific career or job, a web page for any organization, you just let me know. Or if you want the full list, also let me know in the comments area. I will share with you. So these are the places where you can look for online for job openings. After that, the hiring process. Hiring process is also a bit not straightforward kind of thing. It's depending from organization to organization. from company to company, from enterprise to enterprise. They have different kinds of hiring processes, but overall they are look the same. Like it starts from the process starts from submission of the application. You submit your application, you complete it, fill it up, send it to them, submit it via email, via online. Yeah, mainly these are the two methods are there to submit the application. Nowadays, from last 6 to 8 months or 1 year, the organizations have also implemented some advanced tools. For example, you can enter your LinkedIn profile, and the job site will capture the information from all your profile from the LinkedIn. Or if you upload PDF or Word CV of your latest CV, and the websites parse that information and save it to their website. But it is not 100% accurate. Most of the time it is around 10 to 20% information is captured. Rest you have to enter by yourself manually. So this is the process starts from there, the hiring process. Then once it's submitted and the submission date is over, then the first thing comes, it's screening. Most of the organizations, they have a screening process, automated screening process in place, because normally they receive applications in hundreds or like sometimes multiple hundreds, 500, 600, 700 applications for a job. So for that, they don't have time to go through all the applications manually, so they do the automatic screening. In this screening process, they put some keywords, and based on those keywords and on their, for example, ranking of the education, if they have asked for the bachelor degree or master's degree, they check that part. Then if they have asked for the language requirements, they check automatically that one, and then they reject the applications which doesn't fall into that category. So that's how the automatic screening is done. After the screening, there is an assessment. Some organizations, some companies, they have purchased third-party controls to assess your abilities, the IQ, the other performance key measurements they have, and then in UN and other international organizations, they have online test mechanism where they send you some questions and they ask you in the video or in a written format or in a video format. You have to answer those questions in a specific time period, and you return it, the test, send it back to them. I have seen some like P&G, like Procter & Gamble, they have, or like MSC, they have a video intro. You have to specify, for example, why do you think you are suitable for this job? You have to explain it in the video. 3 questions, tell us about yourself, and 2 other questions. You record the video and send it back. So that's they say that this is an intro from us, so we need to see how you speak, how you communicate, how you express your interest. After that, once these automatic assessments are done, then they send you the interview request, either face-to-face or online, virtually on Skype or on other mediums. So then, after going through this whole process, then they send you an offer if you successfully pass all these stages. It's in UN and in international organizations, this is a lengthy process. Lengthy, I would say, like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, sometimes 9 months. Long process, depending on the situation of the job and the demand, and also urgency of the resource in the organization. And And in some another private organizations, multinational like Procter and Gamble and other Nestle, they are very efficient in these processes, and they have their timeline defined. And if they send you an email saying that we will be in contact with you in next 2 days, they contact you. So it varies from organization to organization, company to company. The next important part is very important, which is to look into the job description. Job description is for normal outside, like if you haven't worked for the organization or enterprise or multinational company, you see the requirements of the job looks like very plain, straightforward, and lots of jargons here, big words, team, communication, and this and this and this. But you need to look into it from a different perspective. For example, you need to analyze it, go through the job which you're looking for, and if you think and you feel like and you're getting the sense that this is exactly what you are looking for, or that this is a dream job for you, so and you want to apply for it, and you once you make up your mind, then what you need to know is you need to get the important keywords out of the job description, what they have used, what they are looking for. So these are the keywords and the strong points which they mentioned in the roles and duties. That is very important for you to mention in your profile later on. And looking at the criteria is very important. Exactly, you should focus on the criteria, what they have asked for, what they are looking for, and then related information. For example, I show you one example here. Let's pick this an example. This is a job opening currently available on internet for information systems officer. So this job is what they're looking for is here. This is the background a little bit on the which organization, which department is looking for some background. Then this is the responsibilities. So if I look at the responsibilities here, I would say that, okay, fine, what they are looking for someone to plan and direct major systems projects. So plan and direct is the thing which you need to pick it up and use it in your experience. In the recent experience, you need to use this keyword there as it is. Then major components and complex systems, you need to look at this part as well, that this word is in your profile. So if they are looking at your profile, and if they're looking for the job description and then they're looking for your profile, it should match, like these keywords, and the language should be the same on both sides. So it will be easy for them to understand and get connected with your profile, like find this person is really having the same thing which we are looking for. So this is the trick to get the keywords out, like leadership here, work direction. Then you need to know develops, implements, monitors information standards, guidelines. You need to see this part. Yeah, this should be in your profile as well. So this is the way you pick up the keywords. And then these are the competencies. The competencies we have: the professionalism, teamwork, and planning organization. This is very important. So in your profile, in your experience, when you're going to mention about your roles and responsibilities and your achievements, you need to mention that a part of these competencies you achieve those projects. So that we're going to cover there. This is the education. As I said before, education is normally the screening process, automatic. They will the hiring or the screening process will kick you out if you will ignore this one. If they have asked for the bachelor, advanced university degree, master degree, you should have to mention master degree in your profile. Then the years of experience, 7 years is the minimum, so you need to go around 8, 9 to 10 years, so that if they reduce your relative experience, if they reduce your experience to a relative experience, they should have at least 7 years of experience out of your 10-year or 11-year experience. This is very important. Lots of people make mistake on this part. Like if they say English and French are the working languages for the past, and there is fluency in English is required. So in this job, only English is required. If they have asked English and French is required, you have to mention in your profile the English and French, that you are expert in those two languages. Don't say intermediate or beginner, advanced level. Then there are assessments, and then there are other things as well. There's nothing, these are just how it works and stuff like that. They have not mentioned the other criteria or desirables. For example, in another job advertisement here in ITC, here you have another information system officer. They are looking for, again, if I look into it, this is the background of the section or the division or the business which they are doing. Here is the responsibilities, so you have to look into it, get the keywords, and line by line just try to find in which each point what they have mentioned, and these each points should be reflected in your profile. So now here we have master degree, again, work experience here mentioned. Just try to get all these things over there in your profile, in your CV, in your personal history form. Then after this one here, if you look, knowledge is French is desirable, so it means they are desiring, and if you don't mention it, you will not meet the desirable criteria, so mention French as well in this case. Then you have here also in the experience they have mentioned lots of other desirable document database, desirable, wherever they have mentioned desirable. So word by word all these keywords should be mentioned in your profile, and then the competencies part comes in. So this is another example. I can pick any other example from here, from Asian Infrastructure Bank, or from the UN Women or United Nations Development Program. There are most of them are like the same. So they don't know you. They don't know how good you are in communication. So your profile should be the reflection of you, and you need to try to get it into the interview using your profile. So I would suggest that it should be maybe if you have to play with words and you have to explain it, just go into the details, and not lots of detail, but just precise, up to the point, what they have asked, exactly the same thing into your profile. So after this one, I would come now to the profile part, which is also sometimes called personal history form, PHF. So this profile, your profile normally consists of the first part is a basic information about your name, last name, date of birth, address, telephone number, etc. Then it contains personal information like your family, kids, and other information. Then languages. Be careful here. You have to enter the language, the one they have asked for, and also the other languages you may know. And always don't underestimate your skills. Just put expertise level, because there's no test. If they have not asked for any specific certificate or for the language, then you are the best judge of your skills. And if you are saying in your profile that you have advanced level of knowledge of let's say Russian language, they cannot contest against that information. That's your judgment. So and you think that you are the best and you're in that language, so that's what it is. If you have certifications from anywhere, that's plus point. Then you have education and certifications, go into details, put everything, all the certifications you have received in your career, just try to upload them, and education as well. Be careful with the titles of your degrees in Spanish or in other French or in other languages, or in the universities, they called separately. There are some maturity, more in the French system there are maturity schools, and then college, and then high school, college. So all those things needs to be translated properly, and you need to say that, like if you have to specify the degrees, the titles in two languages, just say it, because it helps the hiring manager to look into it, and while they're reading the information. Experience is also very important. You put all the information they ask for it in the online forms. Plus, don't forget to put separately the description of your duties and responsibilities, and also separately your achievements, the things you have achieved in your previous experience, all the details. So after that, trainings you can mention all the trainings which you have gone through in last, in the whole your career, and as much detail. Yes, awards, publications, any publication also, not even if it is book published, then it's fine, but if it is a magazine or contribution in some companies, journal or annual, like reports, you mentioned if you did some presentations in your organization, if you have some documentation regarding any research papers you did, mention all of them here. It covers this category covers that part. Then you have references, very important, not related to you, who are familiar with your character and qualification. So not your family members. Don't mention your family members here. You just have to mention the people who are familiar with your character and qualifications. So this is basic information about the profile, but it may varies differently from there might be some other sections as well. They ask for like your disability kind of thing, or traveling, or some other criminal records kind of questions they ask. And then they are nowadays they are asking, not now, but like from last 1 to 2 years, they are asking for specific questions apart from your profile, some specific questions for that job which you are applying to. So if so you have to answer them individually, precisely, with accurate information. Just take your time replying to those questions. So that's how you go through with this the process. It is, but the thing is, as I can see myself, like going through lots of details over here. It's not easy. It's to get a job. It's complicated. It's very time taking process, not efficient most of the time. But normally what I have seen in my experience, that people who are looking for a job and who tries and try again from month to month, 3 months, 4 months, at least for a year, continuous applying, they get a call. Like they get a call. You will be very lucky if you just apply once or twice and then you get a call for the interview, for appear in the interview. You would be lucky for that. But normally people apply for many months and months, and then they get it, finally the call. And now especially, the timing is also important if you want to look, because there is by end of the year, end of the year, in December, November, December, most of the organizations, international organizations and in companies, they have their budget for the next year approved by their management. So early January, February, or late December, every year there are lots of opportunities and on these organizations for new jobs, and if you can look for that one, that is an ideal time. And also this time of the year from September, October, November, December is a peak time as well in all the big organizations, European and US organizations. Yeah, but as you know, the general condition right now in the world, it might not be the same for this year, but who knows. So best of luck, apply for it. And if you have any questions, or if you want to ask me anything, just please mention it in the comments. And if you want to know more about these kinds of videos, please subscribe my channel, so that whenever I publish a video, you will be notified, and it will support me as well to keep doing this work which I'm trying to do. Thank you very much, and do let me know how you find this video and any video comments and the details. Thank you very much.